I just remember one of the guys I was with, he took a very curvy road and he kind of misjudged the curve and swerved and hit a tree. And I had tried to save two passengers in the back by holding them back from flying through the windshield. And by the time I turned around to look, I was almost through the dashboard. So that's most of I know. I don't remember most of the story. I get bits and pieces from other people because other people are still kind of upset about it. Yeah, some people don't like talking about it. They get teary eyed and their voice starts to crackle, so they don't like talking about it. So I usually leave it alone. I had a retinal detachment of broken orbital bones. Um, I think that's pretty much it. Some I think I had some brain injury some way. I'm not sure though, but that's pretty much it. I didn't have had retinal detachment and broken orbital bone. Like the left side of my face was broken around the eye socket. It took a good few months, a really long time to get back to how I was. Like the people that was around me was always trying to push me to get out of bed because there's to a point where I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to do anything. I went through depression. I lost a lot of weight. I didn't want to eat. And when people did get me outside, I didn't stay outside long. So I mean, they just kept pushing me to get outside and do something. It's just after that, I just didn't feel like doing anything. I played football most of my life. I played at Loudon High School in Loudon, Tennessee. I was a running back, so I was roughly this. I was bigger than I was now, so I was about 170 pounds back in high school. And yeah, that's set some records over there. They're still standing over there, so that's always a good thing. Well, I was watching on TV one time, and this is when my son was very little, like he was an infant, and I was like, I want to do something because my grandfather was like, you gotta go do something. You gotta do something besides football because you're not gonna be able to play. They abandoned all of the scholarships were gone, so I lost all my scholarships. So I was like, okay. And then UFC happened to pop up on TV, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. Might have to try that, just to see what it's like. Because at that point, it was growing. I think it was by the time like Stephen Bonner and Forrest Griffin had their fight, and then I was like, okay. So then I started googling it, how to get there, and then one thing led to another. I got in contact with a guy named Tim Kitts, and then he pointed me at the gym that I'm at now. So I just happened to meet like the size, I guess. And one of my coaches was they were getting ready for two of my teammates. They was getting ready for fights, and I was about the same size. And I maybe had like 6 months training in there, and it was like, Dre, go in here, and all I want you to do is try to tackle him. I was like, okay. I went in there and I did okay, even though I was getting beat up, but I was doing okay. And it was like, hey, would you like to compete eventually? I was like, I might think about it. And then my son was probably born about like September. Well, he's about one, yeah, about one or so. And then I had my first fight. I won by TKO. I took the dude down and ground and pounded him out. My second fight happened. Uh, I lost by knockout, and the Tennessee Athletic Commission like told me I couldn't fight anymore because like my eyes, the danger, a whole bunch of nonsense. And then for a while, I was like 3 years before I could fight in Tennessee again. I could only fight in Virginia because they didn't have a sanctioning board. So for 3 years, I was there, like just being just training, working, getting everything, getting better, understanding things, helping people out with fights and stuff like that. So, and then when it came time for me to make my pro debut in Tennessee, it was felt like a big weight lifted off of me. It was like saying it was technically impossible for me to fight with one eye. Uh, Many of the doctors that I went and saw, they was like, "You can't do that. It's not possible." This and that. And I brought up the fact that there was a guy that had one leg and he was fighting, and there was a guy that has a one arm, was Nick Newell. He's fighting. I was like, these guys can't defend themselves on their side, so what makes any difference? And then they was like, it's not scientifically possible. So like, yeah, I went through that mode where like I was mad and I was upset, and then it went from being mad to upset to being just like laughing it off the whole time. Like I didn't take anything that they said seriously because I felt like they didn't have a legit reason to say why they said. They just wanted to be like, no, no, no. I had fought on a few of their shows in Virginia, and at that point, Virginia did not have a sanctioning board, so you could fight as much as you did. And I fought there maybe 4 times, 4 or 5 times there. And whenever I turned pro, they was like, "How many amateur fights you had?" And it was like, "I've had 6." And they was like, "Well, we only count 2 because the sanction board in Virginia didn't exist when you started." So Virginia's a wild. It was wild back then. Like the stuff I seen backstage at fights is just it was funny, but it's also dangerous at the same time. Like usually you have commissioners like that come in, they have to follow you around and make sure your hands is taped the right way, and make sure you have blood work, all that good stuff. It was none of that. So you could be fighting somebody who had something and you never know it. Like if you cut that person open, well, you're on your own. They allowed knees, they allowed elbows, so it was just whatever you wanted to do at that point. They had rules, they had refs, they had everything together, but it was you showed up, you want to fight, you fight. And that was just it. I've been cleared by quite a few states, and then I know there's been a few promotions that actually want me to come down there and fight their guy and stuff like that. So it wasn't. I don't think it was a matter of showing them what my injury is. I think it's just the fact that showing them, yeah, I'm injured, but what can I do? Could I still defend myself intelligently? Now there is some states that won't clear me. Kentucky will not clear me at all, and Ohio told me that I actually have to restart as an amateur and go pro. So I was like, but I have at that time I had 5 pro fights. I was like, I have at least 5 pro fights. And they're like, yeah, but you're not a pro here in Ohio, so you have to restart. I was like, so you want me to restart as an amateur and then go pro there? I was like, that doesn't make sense. I think I'll pass on that. So Kentucky and Ohio are 2 states that say no, but everybody else is like, oh yeah. They're like promoters always want me to go, especially up north like Atlantic City and stuff like that. And I think I've actually been invited to come fight in Canada a few times. So I'm fighting in Clarksville against their hometown person, Eddie Massey. So I know he likes to kickbox. Um, from his last fight, I watched film on him. He's not too good at the wrestling or jiu-jitsu aspect. So he wants to. He's made a living off knocking people out. So he's one of those guys like I live by the sword, die by the sword kind of thing. He likes to stand up. So it's always fun. He's long. He's kind of tall. He's a little taller than me. Um, just like that. He likes to kick and he likes to punch. And that's pretty much all I got from him.